Welcome to the Founder Fumbles podcast, where we dig deep into real life entrepreneur struggles and comeback strategies. I'm your host, Dahmari Taplin, and we have Shandrah Faith.
Hi.
What's going on? So just so y'all know, Shandrah Faith is the CEO of Stones Throw Preschool. She's a tarot card reader. She's an author, a musician, a paranormal investigator, a YouTuber, a poet, an MMA fighter, and an advocate for spiritual consciousness.
Correct.
Whew, I get all that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how you been? How's everything been going?
Doing good.
Yeah.
I've just been going through just like little injuries here and there the last couple weeks. That's probably why I haven't seen you in the gym in a while. But yeah, I did like a little, I had a little injury on my ACL. I'd never felt that before, but I was in jiu-jitsu and I heard a pop and then like kept going and then biked home, and then the next morning I woke up and couldn't walk. And usually I'm not one of those people get injured all the time, but that took like 3 weeks to heal. Damn. Yeah, like I think.
So that's why you haven't been in the gym.
Yeah,
I thought she was out because I looked at your Instagram. I thought she was traveling, doing the sand thing.
Oh yeah, that was when I did beach jiu-jitsu, but that was like right when I came back. I took a week off just to like. Just to get back to
So was that before you tore your ACL or?
No, that was before.
Oh, so that was before.
Yeah, so I came.
It was a late post.
Yeah, so I came back. Oh yeah. They just post, because I did it in like mid-May was when I did beach jiu-jitsu, and then then they didn't post the videos till like last month. So
I want to ask you, man, because you're like the only girl in that strength and conditioning class.
Yeah.
And that shit is hard, yo. If it's hard for me, I'm like, how is this tiny ass girl doing this? Like, how is that for you? You know what I mean?
Consistency is key. Yeah, just like showing. I just tell everyone, like every day, just showing up, and it doesn't matter, like, you know, how well you do, how much coach yells at you or something, you know, just show up. Like, even just show up there, and even if you like, you know, even if you hurt yourself like in the first like 10 minutes, you know, at least you showed up, and then you just keep going and trying. But yeah, I was pretty much the only, like, I'm the only girl who does like MMA at the gym.
The strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
You're the only strength and conditioning. He be killing us in there. I can barely walk. I come home, I'm like, oh, can't move. And I be telling my wife, like, it's this tiny girl in there. She just be doing everything we doing. I'm like, she's tough, yo.
Yeah.
Tough.
I've been there for, this is going to be my 4th year at Edge MMA. So it took me a while, but I think just piling, like, now my routine is like, I go, since before I was injured, I was going, doing gym stuff like 7 days a week, basically. And that's actually what's kept me going, is like, when you stop and when you take breaks, it's like you have to start all over again. So the only reason I'm so good is because I'm like consistent. And like before, I used to think, like, when I first started doing, and then even like working out, I'd go to the gym, and like even I had like a trainer like at Planet Fitness or something, or what, it's not called, is that what it's called? I don't know, but one of those gyms, and that didn't really motivate me. But then during the pandemic, I was always interested in MMA. I don't know why, but like I just was like, I think because when I was in my 20s and stuff, and I'd always want to fight girls for I had this, like, I guess I didn't realize it till my early 20s that I was like very aggressive against girls, and like, and no, you know, it's not like a dude who's like, you know, you want to fight, you know, like that's you'll be like, you know, maybe you'll get some, but like a girl who does that, like, everyone's like leaving the room already. So during the pandemic, there was this online class that taught like 10 different martial arts, and it was the same guy with like different teachers for each martial art. So I would do that, like, so I was just basically training with myself and like during the pandemic, and then
you learned some techniques. And then
so I learned a little bit from each of the martial arts, and then I'd always been passing Edge since I lived down the street from there. And then I emailed them, and after everything opened up to go back and do stuff. And then I just went there, and I was just gonna do jiu-jitsu, but then then I was like, okay, let me try Muay Thai, and then I was like, okay, let's try MMA. And then besides that, I started also going to T's studio and doing pole classes, so that actually, because
that's how you built up the
yeah,
strength.
that's because actually, so before the conditioning classes that we go to on Saturdays, I go to my pole class before that, and so that really loosens up my muscles and my joints. Yeah, and so that's why I'm a little more like warmed up when I get to the conditioning.
That's crazy.
So that's, and my friend, she used to do like competitive pole dancing, and she said that because like my wrists and my ankles are just so like they're just weak. They were like, she's like, pole could really help you do that. And I did that, and I took one of my friends from the gym, Christian, and she'd never been to a pole class, and like she's also an MMA fighter, and she was just exhausted, and I was like, yeah, it's a lot of work. Like if you try out a pole class is actually really compared to the conditioning.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So how did you get into like tarot card reading tarot cards?
Yeah, well, this actually happened like when I was really young. Actually, so my aunt, she would read regular playing cards, but as tarot cards to do your fortune. So I kind of learned that way in just how to divine in that way. But then I was also having around the age of 7 or 8, I was kind of having what's it called, psychic experiences. And so in my book, it kind of this book, so I made this fiction novella. It's pretty short, I call it a novella, and it's talks about a girl who had an imaginary friend and then realizes she was dead. And I kind of had this experience. Around second grade, I was in a new school, and I always had I was really shy as in elementary school, especially after I moved from first grade to second grade into a whole new school, and then that was the school I'd go to for the rest of my elementary school career. And I just ended up having these this one girl, and then I was just getting over the years, I just started getting weird information about her, and kind of things about how she dressed. She kind of dressed I don't know, old Victorian like little girl. And then I started realizing I don't know, I guess she would tell me how she died, and I just I'm it feels so long ago now, it just seemed so instant. But then so I realized that I could just I was wait, this is a dead person. I don't know, and that didn't weird me out. You was
getting a lot of new information, and it was all about the same thing. Yeah, and you was and you just found out that it was your imaginary friend. Yeah,
it was an imaginary friend, but it was so it was a person.
It was an actual real thing. It was an imaginary friend to you, but you was getting information from the real world about your imaginary person. So you was like, hold on, this is matching up. Somehow, some way. So that's what your book is about.
Yeah, it's kind of just basically it goes through the main character's whole life about being a psychic medium and doing magic and interacting with ghosts. But yeah, it's in a weird it's definitely fiction. So it's in this weird surreal world.
Okay, gotcha.
It's based off of this reality.
Gotcha.
She works at Urban Outfitters and but it's definitely it's a strange world, but right. But it also has paranormal investigation in there too. So, and I didn't get into paranormal investigation till I moved here to Denver.
So you brought this for me, right?
Yeah, this is for you.
And okay, that's nice. So I'm definitely, I don't really read fiction books, but I'm gonna read this one. Yeah, I'll add it to my collection.
It's not too long. It'll be a quick read.
It looks kind of short.
Yeah.
So How long did it take you to write? I'm writing a book right now.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So I'm like,
I started. So this was published in 2020, and let me see when I started. I think it only took me like a year to write it, and it like honestly, I think it just took me like just like solid blocks of like a month or so. Like just it would just come to me. Like I would just have like this inclination to like just I already know like what's gonna happen. So I wrote it chronologically, and then it would just come to me, and I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, so then this is gonna happen. So then I'd go on my computer and then write that, and then so I would say it would take about like a year or something.
A year,
Yeah.
okay. I messed up big time. So my book, I'm like, I was writing, you know, it's called From Start to Finish, and it's just about like my journey to success.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? And I wrote everything in a notebook, and now when I'm trying to create this book, it's like, oh, you got to type everything.
Yeah.
So now I got to go back to the notebook, and I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my
no,
gosh.
it's definitely started out with just writing.
But no, I appreciate it. I'm gonna add this to my collection.
Yay,
Put this.
thank
I'll just
you.
put it here for now. I'll put it in good. But you know, that's
Yeah.
dope. So what about this? Did you say you was a paranormal investigator?
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you get hired for that?
No, you can. There used to be a place in Colorado or an organization called I think it was like ghost hunting tours, or like there'd be different tours where.
Was it on TV?
No, but that is like where I learned about it, and that's kind of the story in my novel. Is like she meets up with like it's based on like have you heard of the show Ghost Adventures?
I think so.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
like,
the one that's on TV?
Yeah,
in
there's
Colorado?
multiple ones now,
Yeah.
but like I think that one was one of the earlier ones. But yeah, and it's but yeah, in those tours like they'll have the equipment for you, or you can bring your own equipment. And like say we went to in Canyon City, there's an actual prison, and then there's an old women's prison which they turned into the Museum of Prison of Colorado or something like that. So they let us go in there, take our equipment, and then as a psychic medium, I can also like I used to bring music boxes and see if the ghost would play it, and like every time I brought one, it would just break. Like it never worked again, and it was so like. And I was like,
That's
I'm not
crazy.
gonna. Yeah, same with my Polaroid camera. I took like I have like these final pictures. I brought my Polaroid camera to the prison, and yeah, that like the last shot I took was the last gas chamber in Colorado. I took a picture of that, and like there was just like a flash. It looked like I had the flash on, but I didn't, and there was just like a flash, and then that was the last picture it took. And it never worked again. Yeah, so I was like, I'm done bringing like my stuff to the paranormal places.
Because it just keeps breaking.
Yeah.
Damn.
But
That's crazy.
Yeah, I got into it because my friend Natalie, she does paranormal investigation in Texas, and how did we meet? I think I met her. How did I meet her? She has a book called Awaken the Higher Self, and I don't. Somehow we met up on each other because we knew. I've been speaking to. There's a inventor called Gary Gulka, and his daughter had passed away when she was in high school, and I like somehow started talking to her, and like somehow I got in touch with Natalie and was telling her about this, and then she was actually, I'm published under her same publishing company as well. So,
nice.
So yeah, we met up online. I think this was also during the pandemic too. Like just like when everything was online, you know, you think you'd not meet people, but I feel like I met more people during the pandemic.
I'm gonna have to connect with you on like the publishing company. And all that stuff because I'm working with a company that I don't even know, but maybe you can help me get my book out there.
Yeah,
too,
exactly,
sure.
exactly. Because I really didn't know either. Because I like with my poetry, I started doing poetry on Twitter like in 2018.
Yeah, you're a poet.
Yeah,
too.
but I didn't.
Musician, everything. Like, God, you got an album.
Yeah,
You got an album out.
Yeah.
I'm like, goodness, this lady has everything. That's crazy.
I've lived quite a life. 37 years. I'll be 38 this year.
Damn.
But I used to do music with, I'm married. I have my husband, me and my husband met in our freshman year of college at University of California, Santa Cruz. And then after that, we've been together since. We were in a band together in New York City where we last lived before we moved to Denver, and then moved here, and then just we did try to do like open mics right before the pandemic, and then after the pandemic we just kind of just left it all online and stuff like that. But
so in your daycare, we didn't even talk about the daycare.
Yeah.
That's like your main thing you're doing, right?
Yeah, so that is my business. Like that's what I came to Denver to do. So I went to school at UC Santa Cruz for film and digital media. But most of my life, I'm 13 years older than my youngest sister, so I was like the babysitter. And then in college, the only jobs I get were like babysitting again.
Right.
So then when I moved to New York in 2012, I started with this other company it's like a artistic babysitter company where they hire artists to babysit kids, and they also had a preschool there in Brooklyn. So I became one of the teachers there. And then one of my coworkers, her family is from Colorado, from Aurora specifically. And I wanted, and I wanted to start, I was like, because I was teaching at a like 1-bedroom apartment. It had a backyard, but we had 12 kids in this 1-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, and I was just like, man, I want to start my own preschool, you know, like it would be like, I think I could do this because I saw how my boss, you know, everything that she did because I worked there for 3 years and before I moved to Denver, and just kind of figured it out.
So if you can put like all of your businesses in order to like, you know, which one is making like the most money, you know, like which one is helping you out in life the most, like which ones? You've got the daycare, and then you would say next is your what's after that?
Pretty like that's it.
Daycare is the only one like really making money?
That's the one that's making me money right now.
So you're not making money with your book?
Not really.
Not really?
It's on like. It's been out since 2020, and it's on Amazon and thrift books, but I don't think like
you don't sell.
I don't have like I don't sell the music.
You didn't have a good like marketing plan.
No, So like with all my art, like so that's like what happened. Like I always thought I would make money with my art. Like I thought I'd go to school for film and I'd get a film job and. You know, and then when I moved to New York City, I really wanted to push making music, and I did a lot of performance art. I had a once-a-month performance art show called Circus of Dreams in Brooklyn, and just really thought I could use that, like, to make money, like, because that was what I thought, like, I could just integrate it, and I was just like, I don't want to be a babysitter all my life, you know, like, but then the whole, like, what makes money, like my art wasn't making money. But then I realized that like since I went to a company that hired artists to be babysitters, I realized I could incorporate that. And then I realized that I really like working with children, and I can still do my art with children. Like my school right now, we focus on sports, music, and art. And that's like everything that I like to do. So I feel like you have to, like, especially for people who want to make money with their art, you're not necessarily going to find it like in that straightforward, like, hey, I'm going to sell this piece of art. I'm going to sell, you know, copies of my book to keep me, like, it doesn't always like happen that way. I think, and it's a different path for everyone. So
So what about your tarot cards? Do you make any type of money with that? Your
No.
readings, you don't make
No,
any?
well, I don't do private readings.
Oh,
So,
okay,
yeah,
so you
yeah.
do them all like online?
Yeah,
On
I
YouTube
just
channel?
do like the free YouTube channel, and yeah, I was like so around like when I started my tarot channel, I was also thinking of like because I always have this like entrepreneur mindset for everything, especially my art, and I've always like because I just want to make money doing my art and like so yeah, I had that like mindset of when I started my tarot channel that it would go from because like the tarot readers I watch on YouTube, like yeah, they'll make money like you're supposed to make a certain have a certain amount of viewing hours or something where you can get that super thanks and stuff like that. So that's
Right.
one way the tarot readers can make money.
So you got to keep going, basically.
Yeah, so yeah, you got to have that, and then you can go on, but you can also offer like private readings and stuff like that.
How
But
often are you doing it? Are you
well, now I've kind of like
slowed down? A
yeah,
little bit?
I've slowed it down. Like my latest video for tarot was last year, and I just like, or yeah, I think it was last year. I just kind of like because now I'm focusing more on MMA and my school and just working from there instead because like I think it was just because I know that private like a lot of tarot readers also like private readings are really draining and like scheduling and stuff like that and
Yeah.
I just so
Have you ever thought about getting like a partner or do you have like a partner or a business partner, co-founder, anything?
well technically it's my husband for our preschool is like my like I'm like on paper and everything I'm the sole owner and stuff but my
Yeah.
husband is like the set assistant teacher and
Right,
like
right, okay.
you know help me run the business also
Yeah.
and
Well, I'm mainly talking about like your tarot, like all your spiritual.
yeah no I don't like
you should.
yeah I was like that'd be great to find like so well I would like if I was looking for a partner or like my ideal partner like spirit yeah someone who fuses the spiritual with the money making aspect because I just watched like a Carl Jung video on making money with your like spiritual gifts and how like a lot of spiritual people like over you know our culture and our society it's like it's so not spiritual to make money you know you should be giving this away you know it's so like there's this stigma about like you know if you're making money off of it it's like that but I'm realizing that that's just something that's people
It's just so
to
not
keep
true.
you down yeah
It's
and
so not true, yeah.
it's trying to make spiritual people small you know and like just you know and realize that spirituality is actually a great way to show people that you can have abundance
Yes.
through and how important spirituality is and that people will pay for that kind of enlightenment and transformation
Yeah. So first of all, I want to say, if you're looking for this partner,
Yeah.
you definitely should download the Ziga app if you don't have it already.
Okay.
Matter of fact, after this podcast, we gonna
yeah go on my
I'm
phone
gonna get you signed
down
up.
Ziga.
I'm gonna get you on there so you can find you a good partner. You
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Because it's important.
Yeah.
Second of all, like you can definitely make money out of this. One of my my mentors, his name is Justin. He has a YouTube channel called You Are Creators. Please go check this dude out. He just talks about law of attraction stuff all day.
Awesome.
And he makes money based off of like law of attraction, sharing the law of attraction. Like you know, just having communication conversations with people about it, just having like affirmation videos, just posting like good stuff.
Yeah.
And just people following him, and I watch his videos every single day, like in the
Yeah.
morning. So don't think that you can't make money off of it because you actually can. And people
Great.
also, you can schedule people to have conversations. People will love to talk to you, you know, and you can just like, you know, like, hey, book a conversation with me. It's only $25. Some people will just do it.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm always ready to talk.
I met this dude and it was $50, and I booked the conversation with him. It was $50, and I was like, damn, I can only imagine how many times you get this, you know, a day. You know what I mean? And he said that he would get on this podcast with me too.
Ooh, Ooh, yay.
And I watched he has like over 1 million subscribers and all of that stuff. Like, yes.
I'm
it's a good
definitely
channel.
wanting to bridge that.
Check
like
him out.
spirituality and and
you can. I'm gonna show you his channel and also show you the Ziga app. By the way,
awesome.
Do you believe in the law of attraction?
Yes, I do. Definitely.
What's your thoughts on the law of attraction?
Well, I guess I'd always known about the law of attraction, like just generally, I guess. But I remember in Brooklyn, I was trying to get the
What do you mean
book.
you always known about the law of attraction?
Like I don't know. Like now that I know what it is,
you
like I knew what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that like it's like because a lot of people like they compare the law of attraction to the law of gravity. Like you didn't always know that law of gravity existed like as a kid, but like you knew if you jumped off your roof you'd hurt yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like, and then like when you learn about gravity, you're like, that's the gravity. And so like that's how I feel when I learned about the law of attraction. But yeah, I started reading in high school this self-help woman named Sark. Sark, and she has these like colorful self-help books, and there was one part where she mentioned Esther Hicks, who contacts the spirit of Abraham, and I'd never I don't even know where that book is. Like I remember seeing that, and then like I was just like, oh, that's weird. Like she contacts like spirit. Even though I contact spirits, I still was kind of like weirded out by it. So and then
I was too, but I was so intrigued.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think
stop reading it,
I think because I was like 16 or something. I was still a kid, so I was just still like a little weirded out. But then when I was in Brooklyn, I still had Sark's book, and it had noted "Asking is Given," which is by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And I tried I was too poor to buy it, so I looked in the library of Brooklyn and couldn't find it. So years later. I had also been listening to there's a tarot channel called Magnetize Yourself, and it's a law of attraction tarot channel basically. And she would always talk about the law of attraction and about Abraham Hicks teachings and stuff like that. And so some of the Abraham Hicks teachings started to pop up in 2023 of the teachings of Abraham through Esther, and then that's when I started getting into it. And then last year in November, I actually went to my first Abraham Hicks workshop in Miami for the first time. And
what was that like?
Yeah, it was cool. I was because I'd watched all the videos, but just being there live, and it's basically just a 4-hour Q&A. You're sitting there. They'll show you a picture or a video.
Now I'm thinking about it. I watched one of these.
Yeah, have you seen it where all the workshops are basically she'll pick you out of you raise your hand, and then but she shows this video of little kittens coming out of a box with holes like whack-a-mole, and someone's hitting them with a little soft brush and they're like so it's not about how much you wave your hands or try to get our attention. My friend was like, you should stand up, and I was like, I don't think that's what they want. And you just have to be in the right vibration, and then Esther through Abraham will call upon you, and you'll get to sit in the hot seat and then ask whatever question you have with, as they call it, infinite intelligence.
That's
and
crazy.
then just kind of work through the processes where you can understand the law of attraction and make it work for your benefit. Because I think a lot of people, they think that law of attraction is just I can get what I can be, do, have anything, so I can just get what I want. But then they're like, well, why isn't it here? I'm thinking about it, but you have to understand that it's not just about the words or the thoughts that you're saying to yourself. It's actually your vibration. So in the thought of hey, I don't have a lot of money. When am I gonna? I need this much amount of money, but in that need and that want, you're actually saying I don't have. I'm focusing on the money I don't have. So instead, it would be better to focus on how abundant the sunsets are and how abundant
So
things are in
let
your
me
life.
tell you something. I just learned from my most recent law of attraction book is that a lot of people don't know how to receive properly. You know what I mean? Like they reject receiving.
Yeah.
You know, they say, just for instance, like if you go out to eat with a friend and your friend says, I'll pay for it this time.
Yeah.
Boom. And you're like, okay, well, if you're gonna pay for it, then at least I can leave a tip. Then you leave a giant tip to even out what you just received, or you walk across like a quarter on the ground. You know what I mean? But not even noticing that this is the universe paying you back, and you're rejecting it every single time.
Exactly.
So you have to learn how to receive, and not only that, like I sometimes try to help out like my closest friends and family or whatever, like, no, I'm good or whatever. Or somebody might try to help me. Like I have learned I'm still getting better at it, of course, but you just gotta receive it. You can't reject it every time God tries to give you something. You can't just reject it. You have to learn how to receive it and be grateful that the universe gave you something for free. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's just what that's what I learned.
Yeah,
it's
because you can't accept it so immediately. You know,
have to learn how to receive.
Yeah.
Receiving is something that actually has to be learned.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's like if you can't receive that little quarter, like being like, oh yeah, it's just a quarter. It's not gonna like nothing costs a quarter these days. And by not picking that up, it's like you're like, is anyone give you $1 million if you're not able to receive
a quarter?
Exactly.
It's literally God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, it's giving you free money. Yeah. And you just walking over like, just a quarter, it's just $1.
Right.
Oh, you kick it, give it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's because like over time like as a baby, you naturally receive things all the time because you're pretty much helpless, and you're also very close to source at that birth, death, you're very close and you're very new. And then over time, you kind of build this dam of your flow in front of your flow. So what those little quarters, those little bits of abundance are doing, it's chipping away at that dam so that you can open up to your actual blessings, which is a whole river. Exactly, like that whole $1 million is just like, but you can't, you're not going to be able to just in one thing, like people are like, oh, I'd love to win the lottery, and then they win the lottery and then lose it all of a sudden. And that's because you didn't chip away at the dam. You just maybe, threw it over the dam and then loses it again. But if you actually break that whole dam with all those little chips, then it can start to flow. You know what I mean? So go ahead. You're about to say something? No.
I was going to say. So what about one thing about the law of attraction is like daily routines. You know what I mean? Like, is this something that you do to keep your mind?
Yes.
Keep your mind sharp. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Other than MMA, strength and conditioning every Saturday where we see each other. But what else do you do?
So for my day, it took me a while to understand meditation, but it really helped with Esther talking about listening to the air conditioner. So I used to try to do
listening to the air conditioner. What you mean? You listen to the air conditioner? Or are you saying that
like an air purifier, anything so I used to
the white noise.
Like white noise, like something like that, because I used to either do just silence, just being okay, if it not try, and then or I try to do music and and then I get too distracted, but she talks about how just focusing on something that you don't have any feeling towards, like the air conditioner or the sound of the fridge or the sound of dropping.
Very true.
Yeah, it's just something that's for me, it's my air purifier. So I'd practice. So what I did to start meditating, the best time for me was before bed, and I get a little trouble falling exactly asleep. So I was like, oh, this is a perfect time because I'm not going to fall asleep. And so then I started listening to the air conditioner. And what I also do to help me, I started counting. So I would just, since I couldn't, I would focus on the air conditioner, but then I'd still get thoughts, you know. So I just started counting, you know, one, like, and just seeing how far I could get. And now I can get to like, I forget, like, I try to do, like Esther says to do like 15 minutes of meditation. So I try to like count for 15 minutes, like,
dang.
But
in your out loud or in your head?
In my head, in my head. But
so how
like,
often do you, oh, go ahead, sorry.
I do that like pretty much right before I go to sleep every night.
Every night? You meditate every night? Okay.
Yeah, because now I moved on from that, and I do sleep meditation. So I specifically do Jason Stevenson on YouTube, and he does great like meditations on healing and abundance and stuff like that. And so now I think I've meditated to the point where now I can do sleep meditations where I get the full advantage, since I can actually like meditate on my own if I wanted to. So that's how I started out, and then yeah, so now I do like the actual, like I have like headphones in my ears and stuff.
Yeah, that's how I do it now.
But then also in the morning, also like a morning ritual is also important, and sometimes I'll just like have to wake up and like do my like I'll have like a morning meditation, which is me basically doing tarot cards, like, since that's like what I like to do, and then it gets my mind off. Or I'll wake up early before work and like play with my cards in the morning. But like something that will just kind of, because Esther Hicks talks about, she does her meditations in the morning, or like it's like her day isn't as great, or like for me, I get grumpy, or like if I don't have like my meditation or my time to myself in the morning, like even like 10 minutes or something, it's totally like a different day. Because I used to, like, for most of my life like as a employee, I would just, you know, I'd have like 5 minutes before, like I keep like do it, like not wake up early, just like try to sleep until I could, like a bare amount of time, like go out the door.
Right.
And like even when I had my own business and I was working from home, I wasn't doing that. It was just my mood and my focus was not great. So I always try to have time before work, or like even if I don't, and then luckily I'll have like a break, and then I can have that time in the morning. So at some point,
I feel like meditation is just so important for business. You know, have you ever tried like a what do you call those things, like a cold plunge? Have you ever tried a cold plunge?
Have I? Is that where you just jump into cold water? I've had an ice bath, but not a cold plunge. Icy cold water. Oh my god! You ever tried that? No. I only did
gosh.
the ice bath, and I was supposed to do it. I didn't know you were supposed to not do it for more than 15 minutes. I did it for like over 20 minutes, and I was like freezing for like the whole night with all these blankets on me. But now, did you go in like an actual?
Yeah, I went to a place. It's a place here. It's called Revive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get to do like it's like a whole rotation of stuff you do, but it's called Revive because you kind of whip your mind back in shape or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got this cold plunge section, and you just dip right in there, and just the way you have to focus on like your breath. You know what I mean? You get through it through breathing.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're like breathe. Next, you know, like. And once you get to that part, you're like, okay, I'm freezing, but I'm okay now because I've calmed down I've managed my breathing. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But like you're supposed to do it for like 3 minutes, but it takes 30 seconds of calming yourself down.
Right, and then you have like such a clear
and then you're like,
mind.
Okay. I'm cool now. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's that's meditation.
Yeah.
If you can, you know, focus on like, you know, your future during a cold plunge, then you're in good fucking shape.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
That's always the sensory deprivation. Like, and when I lived in Portland, I went did the float tanks where you're just in
I want to try
like
that.
salt and it's just dark and it's pretty intense. Like, just you're really there with your own thoughts. But like the way that you're totally suspended though, and like it's great to just feel out of body. Like, but it really helps, like if you want to, like, because I think because I did those float tanks like way like before I actually started meditating, but I think that was when I was interested in it. But yeah, any kind of thing that if you're having trouble meditating, like, or getting like going, like doing something like a cold plunge or sensory deprivation, like it will really help you, like, okay, this is what it feels like, because we don't get that feeling unless we're actually deprived of like everything around us. So, and some people, we've grown up with it so long, with all like this like reality atmosphere that we're living in, that we can't just, that's why I tell people when they start meditating, like, try to do 10 seconds. Like when I was beginning, I was like, okay, I have to do at least 30 seconds, and that was so hard for me. And then not till I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do this like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then I'll keep going.
So I got a question, because you seem like you're super big into the law of attraction. Tell me about a time where you manifested something great.
Let me think.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
I'll tell you about something crazy.
Okay.
So, let me tell you. So, I moved to Australia before for 2 years. Before I went there, I had a snowboarding trip scheduled, like, with all my friends before I went. I had this sitting on my mind for like maybe 2 or 3 months. I was so ready for the snowboarding trip, because in Australia, I just assumed that it was no snow or anything there. You know what I mean? So 2 weeks before I left to Australia, everybody canceled. Oh, I can't make it because of work, or my son or daughter is this, I don't have the money, blah, blah, blah. And I was hurt. I was broken down, but as soon as I got to Australia, I just started applying for jobs, I started applying for jobs, and there was this one job called a lodge manager. And I was like, I went to one of my classes in college was called lodge management. So I'm just going to apply for this and just see what it is, Got the job, and tell me why, it was at the only ski resort in Australia. It was at the only ski resort in Australia.
Oh my God, I was like,
Buller.
I didn't even know they had ski resorts.
Yeah, exactly. So I went there, and guess what I did? As soon as I got to Australia, I snowboarded.
Wow.
Ain't that shit crazy? So it was on its way to me regardless of where I was going.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it is like, I could have moved to Arizona and I probably would have still ended up snowboarding somehow, some way.
Yeah.
So that's one example of how I manifested something. But yeah, so if you don't have anything, right now, if I caught you off guard.
It just made me think of like my journey from New York to Denver. So, in 2018, like me and my husband decided like, okay, we're gonna do this. And so, in 2018, I went here, first time ever doing Airbnb, first time staying in Denver. And I gave myself 5 days, and I was like, I'm gonna find a house. Like I had no idea how this worked. So, and then my coworker from my preschool in Brooklyn, she told me to go stay over in what neighborhood to stay in, and I just hung out and it's like crazy to me to think that I was like a girl in her late 20s looking to buy a house with like, I don't even think I had that much money like to put down. But I was like, it's fine, 5 days, and like and I that's before I learned about the law of attraction or anything, but I just was like, I was really into like speaking to my spirit guides and angels and stuff, and I was just like, and so the whole time, and then I was just so discouraged because like at the end of the week I like had nothing, and I was just like, and so, but then I had no, we were already going to move, so that was in July, so that was exactly 7 years ago, and then in August, I think, that's when we went cross country. So we went like all through from New York City all the way to California, then back over to Denver. And by that time, like it was like October, and we were living in our van in Breckenridge. Like we were basically like, I was just like, it's technically not homeless because we have a van. We were like camping in like Breckenridge and up in where's that, like it's like Golden Gate or something like that. But it was, and we'd drive down to Denver and look at houses and then camp out there. And then there was these last 2 weeks in Aurora where it was too cold to camp up. And we were just living in our van, and like I had no idea, like I was just like, man, I really don't, like I was like, well, it's like I guess we're just gonna have to move back home with our parents. Like we spent that whole summer and everything, and I was just like, wow, this is really like I remember. And at the time we were reading "Awaken the Giant Within" by Tony Robbins, and that was like that and the Sugar Frosted Nutsack. It's like a great novel. I forget who wrote that, but yeah, those were the 2 books that were kept me and my husband going while we were like literally like camping out like in the like there was a storage facility where we had our stuff there behind Rocky Stadium, and we'd watch the fireworks from our car. But we were like, and I'm just
so
like,
wait, did you end up getting a house?
Yeah, so we like it was just like because we were like, it is getting cold and I cannot be like living like this. And so yeah, it was just, we found a house, so where we live now across the street, we found a house, and they were like, because it had to be a house that the owner was fine with starting a preschool in also. So that was also the thing, and we couldn't just buy anymore. Now we were like, we just need to rent a house now. So that last moments, we found a woman who was like okay with having the preschool, and yeah, right then, it was like, I was like, we have 2 weeks to do this. And then, yeah, so she rented it out to us. And then a couple weeks later, and then I was like, okay, so now we need to like make money, like now we need like customers. 2 weeks later, we met our neighbors, and there was actually a school a couple houses down that was moving up to like the woman was stopped doing her daycare, so we took in immediately 2 of her students, right? Like, and everything just started falling into place. Yeah. And I just like it, and I thought about myself like in July when I was like, I'm gonna make it happen, I'm gonna like in 5 days I'm gonna go to Denver, and then I was so disappointed in myself. And then in the time that I gave up, and I was just like, well, I'm going back home to going back to California. Yep. And then finally, when I was just like, let it go, everything just went into place. Happened. Yeah, and then
usually happens right when you're about to give up. Right?
Yeah, right, because that's when you kind of like when you let the dam open up. You know, when you're just finally blow up the dam, let's go, like, you know, because that's just your security right there. Like, you know, all that resistance is all that security you built, like security, like in quotation marks. Damn. And so yeah, and then what we ended up happening is that I befriended our neighbors, and during the pandemic, they had just had a new baby and they wanted to sell their house, but no one was showing, you know, they weren't allowed to show. And so we just went because we were friends, we already went there, and we kind of just and it's literally the house across the street. We bought the house across the street from the house we rented. So it all, like, I didn't even have to look for, like, I just had to be myself.
It was given to you.
Yeah, because I feel like I had like a list of like, this is how you buy a house, this is how you get like, and it's just like none of that works. Like, it's just everyone has their own specific journey, and it's like a fingerprint. It's like you're not like all the like books and how-tos, like if you try to follow that, it's not like to the point, like exactly, it's not going to work for you. No, you're just going to have to and that's a big part of the law of attraction, is just
trusting your own journey.
Yeah, exactly. And as in the Abraham Hicks teaching, it talks about how letting source, and that like source or God or the higher self that you are connected to, and that we really are, we're really connected to this higher source that you just need to allow to flow, and then everything that you ever want is just going to be right in front of you. Yep. It's just always right in front of you.
Have you ever read what's the name of that book? It's over here somewhere. Oh, The Alchemist. Have you ever read The Alchemist? Paulo Coelho?
Yeah.
That's what I learned from that book. What I learned from that book is basically everything in life that happens is needed for you to get to that next step.
Yes, exactly.
It's not actually, you're not just going to get there. You're going to go through this, you're going to go through that, you're going to keep going back. But that stuff was actually needed for you to get here.
Yes, that's why they say it's not about the destination, it's the journey.
It's the journey.
Yeah. And and that's really what it is like if you just really focus on like, hey, I really want a house, and then that's what you focus on, then it's basically like, I like the analogy that like, hey, I'm gonna travel to the Bahamas and then come back to Denver. Right. But then you're like, well, my final destination's Denver, so why should I leave? so you like, but it is just about the journey. Like, you're gonna get something out of it as the journey. And that's like really how you get everything you want, is that you're allowing yourself to just live your life and not just be focused on that final destination, because then you'll get nowhere.
This is, I gotta ask you this, because I feel like you kind of given up in a way with your tarot cards, and your like your musical journey, and and maybe even promoting your book. You know what I mean? Like, what's your plan on getting back on track with that? You know what I mean?
Well, I guess because my real goal right now is to do MMA professionally. Okay. So I've been I've really been just focusing on that and trying to do competitions and stuff like that.
So you're going to get back to that later, maybe?
Yeah. I think it's like, what I see it's more like decorations on a Christmas tree. So like my whole life is this Christmas tree. And like, I have these like decorations, and then but then there's like that like the what's it called, the main part of the tree. So it's like what makes me money. So right now it's the daycare and stuff, and then like that's like my main source of income. But like, as I have all my other stuff, I feel like I'm just doing that thing again where I just let it kind of flow, like not trying to
it'll come back when it comes back.
Yeah, exactly.
If this show right here is what brings that back to you, then you will go, you're like, it feels good now. Yeah. You're just doing what feels good to you. Yeah. Basically. Yeah, because you're following your heart. Yeah, because I tried especially because that book was out in 2020, and I did try to like really push it and all this stuff, and then I just get really discouraged that I wasn't making any progress. Right. And then same with the tarot stuff, and like just being really sad that it's like I'm not getting the amount of views to get those super thanks and make money off of it. But I'd learned so much about because when I started in film, I really thought like I made my first feature length and my only feature length film in like 2012, and then I hoped to bring it to New York and then promote it that way, and then I took so much of my like soul to like make money off of film. Like that's what I learned, is just like, and to try to, so I guess I'd say I'm not giving up on any of these kind of outlets. It's just more that kind of like just like waiting for accumulate and stuff like this, just but same with like how I found my house is just basically what I've found to work for me in making money is just meeting people and talking to people like I am with you now. So yeah, in a way, it's just, they're still there. It's still there. They're like little, little points in the project. But so what advice would you give like new entrepreneurs that's like just starting to get into business and just might feel like giving up now, or what advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, I'd be like, don't give up. Like, that's what I'm telling myself, 2 weeks before I thought I'd have to leave Denver. And I just want to like if I was talking to myself 7 years ago, I would be like, just appreciate, actually, I was appreciating how I would just appreciate the little things in my life that were working. And those times when you feel like you want to give up, you just take the little bits of abundance or delight or joy that you can find every day, and that's what's gonna keep you going. Is that you know, as long as there's just little opportunities that don't even have to do with your business or your where you want to go. It's just, hey, this little thing worked out, or like, it was really nice, you know, even though I'm homeless, I'm still watching the fireworks over Rocky Stadium.
Right.
You know, like, I'm appreciating where I'm at still, so that what I want can come to where I'm at. Because if I'm just focusing on like everything I don't have, then that's the basic law of attraction, is what you focus on is what you got.
What you get.
Yeah, so if I'm like, well, I don't have anything, and I would say, never mind, actually give up, because that's what we were talking about. Like, when you're like, what do you say to an entrepreneur who wants to give up? I'll say, fuck yeah, give up. That's when everything's gonna come in. When you just say, I don't give a fuck, okay, fine, I'm going home. Like, that's what I felt like. I was like, fine, I'm going home, I'm gonna live with my parents. That's it. I have like X amount of days, and then that's when everything came up. So yeah, give up. Just do it. Give it up.
Trust
if you want to give it up, that's a sign from the universe. Give up, and then see what the universe gives to you.
Right. So let me ask you a question. It's one of the last ones. What does success mean to you? Like, when will you consider yourself successful? Like, at what point? You know.
How? I think, well, I was gonna say, I think of if I think of myself 7 years ago, I was like, I totally see myself as successful. But then if I think of myself 7 years from now, I'm like, I'm still not at the success I want. So, but so like right now I feel successful.
That's good.
And so like, I think the idea of success is really being secure in yourself. Just like root chakra, I'm secure. Like I'm just like, you could be a successful homeless person. You know, that people are like, hey, you know, you're home, like there's like, you know, but you can be successful at it. You know, like, I guess I technically was successful being homeless when I was home, like when I didn't have a home, when I was living out of my car. But like, yeah, it's like success is where you're secure. Like, you just, like, success isn't about that goal you want to reach, because then you're just waiting for that goal the whole time. And then what's going to happen after you reach that goal? It's like, that's it. You're just going to sit there and be like, because it's never ending. It's eternal. Life is eternal. Death is eternal. And we just keep going. So success is when you're secure with yourself, when you're when you feel secure, like you don't feel like, you know, you're not, I don't know, like, yeah, I guess, whatever your idea of security, like, just you actually feel secure with yourself. It doesn't matter what circumstances you're in. Is that?
No, I got you.
I'm secure. Yeah. Security.
So, okay, I think this might be the last question. Okay. But you know, if you lost your business, your what do you call that? Not the baby.
Preschool.
Preschool.
The baby factory.
Yeah, I was gonna say your baby business. No, if you lost your preschool today, just due to something tragic.
Yeah.
What would be your next step? What would you do next?
Probably I always go home. That's like, I always, like, because I've always, every business owner has that thought in the back, like, what would I do? Like, because I also see like people who lose their home. Like, if I lost my home, there goes my business, right. So either like, so, and I always just think like, there's always, I have home, like home,
with where your mom is.
Yeah. So like my family's in Sacramento, and like, but I remember like growing up, I was just like, I just want to leave home, because, like I was the oldest, so I was like trying to be sheltered, and, but it's really nice to know that there's like a place I can go to that if this business fails, I can just go home, know? And I think that's the same for people who even, you don't have blood family. Like, if you have like that's why I always like, a business is all about making connections and talking to people. And like, even when I was in film school, we had a class on like jobs in film, and it was all of them, all the speakers networking. And I think that's that's for everyone, so that you always have a home to go. Or like if your business fails, do you have the support of your community, a family, friends? Like, do you have somewhere else to go? And that's what's most important. And the only way that's going to, stop you. So that's why you just find a place where you can, even if your business, if everything goes away, just know that there's a place to go. But yeah,
go
so
home.
that's what, go home, wherever that is.
So, all right. So, do you have anything new coming up with your daycare or new book coming out or anything like that? If not, it's okay.
Yeah.
But do you have anything special that I should be looking out for?
No, not really. I've just been usually just posting on my the main social media I have is my Shandrah Faith at Instagram. So, and then I have just been. I don't have any competitions coming up, but I'm right now just kind of like working out and figuring that out. But mostly for my future stuff, it will be like competitions that I'll be posting about that you can come see me at.
Okay. No, that's cool. That's good stuff. So I guess, last but not least, just let everybody know like where they can find you, Instagram, website or LinkedIn or whatever you have.
Yeah.
If you need people to get in contact with you, where can they find you?
Okay.
And also where can everybody follow you and stuff?
Yeah. So on Instagram, it's Shandrah Faith. And then if you want to check out my tarot readings and it's Reading Rainbows Divination at YouTube
on YouTube.
On YouTube. And then if you want to check out, my preschool does have an Instagram, which is Stones Throw Preschool on Instagram. Stones Throw Preschool. Yeah, Stones Throw Preschool. But it's really just like a word of mouth kind of thing. That was the thing too, for you entrepreneurs out there. Like I always thought it was like advertising and stuff, but I realized that word of mouth has been like really like just important. So
Where can they find your book?
On Amazon and thrift books. I think it's on other booksellers too online, but it's
what's
called,
the name of it? Yeah.
I was like, Spirits and Ghosts by Shandrah Faith. Yeah.
Okay. And I think you got your music. Where can they find your music?
Yes. You can find my music on Bandcamp at Marital Dispute, and I also have another project called Rules, so you might find me there too. So Rules and Marital Dispute are my two musical projects, and then and look up my films on Shandrah Faith on YouTube, and I have my whole feature-length film called Tabla Rasa, which is in episodes on there, so you can take a look at that and at me when it was 2012.
So what about your fights? Do you have any fights that's recorded? And we can...
The last thing I did was the beach jiu-jitsu, and then any other fights and stuff, I'll just post it on my Instagram. So
Nice. Okay.
Just keep up with me on my Instagram. And
Sweet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking out Founder Fumbles, this episode with Shandrah here. If her story inspired you in any way, please go check out any of the stuff that she just told you. Go check out all of that stuff. And please don't forget to like it, share this with some people that you might think might like this episode, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thank you, and until next time, peace.
Bye.